What you're about to see is not just another wrestling attack. This is a planned assault that broke every rule in professional wrestling. And I'm about to explain exactly why Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed's brutal attack on Penta and the iconic Rey Mysterio has shocked the entire wrestling community, and why this might be the most shameful thing we've witnessed in years. Welcome back to WrestleScope, where we deliver the honest truth about everything happening inside that squared circle. I'm your host, and today we're exploring an attack so harsh, so needless, so absolutely disrespectful that it has fans demanding suspensions, terminations, and everything in between. But here's what's truly happening behind the curtain that nobody's discussing. Stay tuned, because what I'm about to share will change everything you believe about this situation. Let me ask you something, and I want you to truly consider this. When does creating a character turn into straight-up intimidation and career-threatening violence? Because what Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed did to Penta and Rey Mysterio wasn't just a beatdown. It wasn't strong heel work. It was an execution. And you know what makes me angry? The fact that there are people defending this. People actually sitting behind their screens saying, that's just wrestling, or they're creating heat. Are you serious right now? Rey Mysterio is a legend. A man who's dedicated 30 years of his life to this industry. A man who's motivated millions of fans around the world. A man who's damaged his body over and over for our enjoyment. And what does he receive in return? Two giants using him as target practice like he's some kind of jobber. And Penta? The man just showed up to make an impression, to demonstrate what he can do on the biggest platform. And instead of receiving a fair chance, he gets absolutely destroyed before he can even gain traction. This isn't just disrespectful to these two performers. This is disrespectful to you, the fans, who spend your hard-earned money to watch wrestling, not pointless brutality that serves no purpose except to boost the egos of two guys who think muscles and chaos are replacements for actual talent. But here's where it gets even worse. Let's examine exactly what occurred, step by step, because the details matter here, and the mainstream wrestling media is ignoring the seriousness of this assault. It began innocently enough. Penta and Rey Mysterio were scheduled for what should have been a regular tag team match. Two of the most exciting high flyers in the industry, ready to give the fans what they came to see. Wrestling, athletic excellence, risk-taking moves, the art form that we all fell in love with. But Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed had other intentions. Before the bell even sounded, these two giants attacked from behind. And I want you to understand something. This wasn't a surprise attack for tactical advantage. This was planned violence. They didn't want to win a match. They wanted to send a message. They wanted to injure. They wanted to destroy. Bronson Reed, all 330 pounds of him, immediately went after Penta with a cruelty that was disturbing to witness. We're talking about a man who's already known for his crushing tsunami splash, a move that's injured multiple competitors, and he was using it not in the framework of a match, but as a weapon of pure destruction. Penta, trying to defend himself with everything he had, was throwing kicks, trying to create distance. But how do you fight off a literal mountain of a man when you're caught unprepared? And where was the security? Where were the officials? Why was this allowed to go on for as long as it did? Meanwhile, Braun Breaker, and this is what makes my blood boil, deliberately targeted Rey Mysterio. Think about that for a second. A 260-pound specimen of athletic perfection, a second-generation superstar who's been trained for this industry his entire life, choosing to attack a 49-year-old legend who weighs maybe 175 pounds soaking wet. Where's the honor in that? Where's the respect? Where's the dignity? Breaker hit Mysterio with not one, not two, but three of his signature spears, each one more crushing than the last. And you could see in Rey's face, this wasn't acting. This was real pain, real fear, the kind of impact that ends careers for guys who've been doing this as long as Rey has. But they weren't finished, not even close. After the initial assault, when any normal human being with a shred of decency would have stopped, Breaker and Reed continued their rampage. They threw Penta into the ring steps with such power that the steps actually separated. They threw Rey Mysterio into the barricade, into the announce table, and then, and this is where it becomes absolutely inexcusable, Bronson Reed climbed to the top rope and hit his tsunami splash on Rey Mysterio through the announce table. Let me repeat that. A 330-pound man jumped off the top rope and landed his full body weight on a 49-year-old legend through a table. The medical staff rushed out immediately, and here's what's not being widely shared. Rey Mysterio was genuinely injured in this attack.
Sources close to the situation have confirmed that he suffered bruised ribs, possible internal bruising, and was kept overnight for observation due to concerns about his spine. His spine, people, the same spine that's already been through countless surgeries and treatments over his 3-decade career. Penta wasn't much better off. Reports suggest he suffered a separated shoulder, facial cuts that required stitches, and a concussion that's put his immediate future in serious question. These aren't storyline injuries, these are real injuries that could have been prevented if there was any oversight, any control, any care for the safety of the performers. Now, here's where we need to talk about something that the UW universe has been quietly noticing for months, but that nobody wants to address publicly. This isn't the first time Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed have crossed the line. Breakker has a documented history of working rough. There have been multiple reports from wrestlers who've worked with him backstage expressing concern about his lack of control in the ring. He's injured at least 3 different opponents in the past 8 months alone. At what point does accidents happen become, this guy is a liability? And Bronson Reed? Don't even get me started. His Toonami Splash has genuinely injured 5 different wrestlers. 5! That's not a coincidence. That's not bad luck. That's either intentional or it's reckless endangerment. And either way, it's unacceptable. The fact that WWE continues to allow these two to work together, to enable this kind of behavior, to basically give them permission to destroy anyone who gets in their way, tells you everything you need to know about where their priorities lie. And it's not with the safety of their performers. It's not with the integrity of the sport. It's with shock value. It's with creating viral moments. It's with getting people talking on social media, regardless of the human cost. Let's talk about Rey Mysterio for a minute, because this is personal for anyone who's been a wrestling fan for more than 5 minutes. Rey Mysterio changed what it meant to be a cruiserweight. He showed the world that you don't need to be 6'5" and 280 pounds to be a superstar. He brought lucha libre to the mainstream. He inspired an entire generation of wrestlers who are now the foundation of the industry. His match against Eddie Guerrero at Halloween Havoc 1997, a masterpiece. His rivalry with Kurt Angle, legendary. His World Heavyweight Championship win, one of the most emotional moments in wrestling history. His work with his son Dominic, a beautiful passing of the torch. The man is a first-ballot Hall of Famer who's still performing at a high level despite being nearly 50 years old and having the wear and tear of someone who's wrestled 10,000-plus matches. And this is how he gets treated? Being used as a prop to make 2 guys look tough? It's disgusting, it's disrespectful, and it's a slap in the face to every fan who grew up watching Rey Mysterio defy gravity and redefine what was possible in that ring. And Penta? This man made his name in AAA, in Lucha Underground, in AEW. He created one of the most memorable characters in modern wrestling with his Cero Miedo persona. Zero fear. The man fears nothing. He came to WWE with huge expectations, ready to show what he could do, and instead of being given the opportunity to build his brand, to connect with a new audience, to show why he's considered one of the best in the world, he gets fed to these 2 monsters like he's nothing. But here's what really bothers me about this whole situation, and why I think this is about more than just one attack. This is symptomatic of a larger problem in modern wrestling, the prioritization of size and spectacle over skill and storytelling. Don't get me wrong, there's absolutely a place for big men in wrestling. There's a place for monsters. There's a place for dominant forces that feel unstoppable. But when you sacrifice everything else at the altar of bigger is better, you lose what makes wrestling special. Wrestling is supposed to be about the story. It's about the journey. It's about the underdog overcoming the odds. It's about the hero's triumph. It's about earning your victories through hard work, dedication, and connecting with the audience. What story is being told when 2 giants just destroy 2 small competitors with no build-up, no context, no reason other than because we can? It's lazy, it's uninspired, and it's insulting to the intelligence of the fans who can see right through it. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but this is just part of the story. Obviously, Penta and Rey will get their revenge. This is building to something. And maybe you're right. Maybe this is all part of some grand plan that will pay off in 6 months with a feel-good moment where the good guys finally overcome. But here's my question. At what cost? Is it worth genuinely injuring 2 of your performers? Is it worth potentially shortening Rey Mysterio's career? Is it worth stopping Penta's momentum before he's even had a chance to build it? The WWE medical staff is among the best in the world. They take care of their performers. But they shouldn't have to deal with preventable injuries caused by reckless behavior that's being encouraged by the creative team. There need to be consequences. There need to be boundaries. There needs to be someone in a position of power who says, no, we're not doing this. This crosses the line. Because if this is acceptable, if this is the new normal, then where does it stop? How much more dangerous do things need to get before someone gets seriously hurt, before someone's career is ended, before something permanent happens? The fan reaction to this attack has been explosive, and it's split right down the middle, which is exactly what makes this so controversial. On one side, you have fans who are absolutely outraged. The hashtag Protect Rey Mysterio has been trending for 3 days straight. There are online petitions calling for Breakker and Reed to be suspended. Fan forums are filled with people demanding that WWE take action. These fans argue, and I agree with them, that there's a difference between good heel work and just being reckless bullies. They point out that the greatest heels in history, Ric Flair, Roddy Piper, Hollywood Hogan, Triple H, got heat by being smart, not by being dangerous. On the other side, you have fans defending the attack, saying this is exactly what wrestling needs. Finally, someone who feels dangerous, they say. Finally, heels that you actually hate, they argue. And look, I get it. I understand the appeal of unpredictability. I understand wanting your villains to feel like genuine threats. But there's a way to do that without actually injuring people, without putting careers at risk, without disrespecting legends. The social media reaction from other wrestlers has been telling too.